Welcome to the channel Cucuy, where nightmares don't wait for bedtime. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. 3 tales, 1 chance to look away. But you probably won't, because it's already watching. The old gods return. The construction crew found the temple while digging the foundation for a new hospital. The archaeologist, Dr. Martinez, said it was impossible. The stone was older than any known civilization. The hieroglyphs showed a being with tentacles for a face and wings that blotted out the sun. Below it, humans bowed in worship while others were consumed, their bones forming the being's throne. Dr. Martinez translated the inscription. When the stars align as they did at the beginning, the dreamer will wake, and the faithful will be rewarded with eternal service in the spaces between reality. That night, the stars aligned for the first time in 10,000 years. The construction workers were the first to change. They arrived at the site speaking in languages that predated human speech. Their eyes had turned completely black, and they moved with inhuman precision. They continued digging, but not for the hospital. They were excavating something massive beneath the temple, something that had been sleeping. Dr. Martinez tried to warn the authorities, but found his own mouth speaking the ancient words instead. His mind was no longer his own. The old god was waking, and it needed servants to prepare the world for its return. Around the world, similar temples were being uncovered. Similar servants were awakening. The dreamer's influence spread like a virus through human consciousness. Soon, humanity would remember its true purpose, to serve as the old god's eternal slaves in the realm beyond nightmares. The dimensional rift. Physicist Dr. Sarah Kim thought she had discovered parallel dimensions when her quantum scanner detected overlapping realities. She was wrong. She had torn a hole between worlds that should never meet. Through the breach, she glimpsed another Earth where humanity had evolved differently. Where they were the prey, not the predators. Where things that looked almost human hunted in packs through cities built from human bones. The scanner's readings spiked. Something was coming through. Dr. Kim tried to shut down the experiment, but the dimensional barrier was collapsing. She could see the other side bleeding into her laboratory. The walls began showing scenes from both realities simultaneously. In one, she stood alone in her lab. In the other, creatures with human faces but predator eyes surrounded her, their mouths opening too wide, revealing rows of shark-like teeth. The bleed accelerated. Dr. Kim watched in horror as her own alternate self walked through the breach. This other Sarah had filed teeth and wore a necklace of human fingers. "Thank you for opening the door," her doppelganger said. "We've been so hungry." More of them poured through, humans who weren't quite human, carrying weapons made from human bone. They moved through Dr. Kim's reality like sharks through blood-filled water. Dr. Kim tried to run, but found herself face to face with her own reflection in the lab's mirror. Except her reflection was smiling with filed teeth. The dimensional bleed was complete. Now there was only one reality, theirs. The inheritance. When Margaret inherited her aunt's estate, she found a room that wasn't on the house's blueprints. Behind a hidden door lay an occult library filled with grimoires bound in human skin and jars containing things that moved in murky fluid. The centerpiece was an ornate mirror surrounded by candles that never seemed to burn down. Ancient symbols were carved into its silver frame, and it reflected things that weren't there. Margaret read from one of the books, thinking it was just superstitious nonsense. The words felt strange on her tongue, like they were speaking themselves. The mirror's surface rippled. Something looked back at her from the other side, a being with Margaret's face but ancient, cruel eyes. It pressed its palm against the glass from within. "Finally," it whispered, "a blood relative who can complete the binding." Margaret tried to leave, but the hidden door had vanished. The room was now circular with no exits. The books flew open, their pages fluttering though there was no wind. The thing in the mirror began to step through. As it emerged, Margaret felt herself being pulled in the opposite direction. They were switching places. "I've been trapped in there for 3 centuries, her doppelganger said as they passed each other in the glass. "Your aunt's bloodline has kept me prisoner, but every generation, someone new must take the watch." Margaret found herself on the other side of the mirror, pressing her palms against the glass. The room beyond was now just a reflection. Her replacement smiled with her face, and walked out the door that had mysteriously reappeared. Soon another relative would inherit the estate, and the cycle would continue. Still here. You made it through, this time. But the channeled Cucuy isn't done with you. He feeds on curiosity. And you're already hooked. Subscribe before he finds someone else.